Let's take a look at Dexteria Jr for fine motor skill development. So this is an app that's going to build motor skills using a simple game format. So we're going to practice tapping, tap and hold, motor accuracy and speed, tracing, pinching, visual tracking, motor persistence, tracing lines and shapes, and all of those skills, we're going to be able to actually record data on the accuracy and speed so we can actually generate a report. I'll show you that feature. So let's go ahead. If you look it up in the App Store, this is what it's going to look like. I do want to say, it does say for toddlers and preschoolers. I know that can be sort of daunting to see if you have someone who is older than that age, but this app is really great for anybody that it needs to practice some of those fine motor skills. All right, so let's go ahead and open. This is what you're going to see when you open up the app. Okay, so Dexteria Jr. Over here, we have music and sound. We can turn these on or off. I'm going to leave them on so you can hear them to start. We have 3 games. We have Squish the Squash, we have Trace and Erase, and we have Pinch the Pepper. Okay, so Squish the Squash, notice there's a little info button here at the bottom. We can click that info button. It's going to tell us what we need to do. So Squish the Squash provides practice with fine motor finger control, finger isolation, and strength. So the object is to tap all of the squash as quickly as possible. So what I'm going to do is show you the lowest level and the highest level to show you some differences. Level 1.
Tap the squash.
All right, so I'm just going to tap the squash. Notice they pop up really slowly. And I tap them 1 time and they squish. All right. So when I'm done, it pops up a little info screen for me, shows that I did 4 in 11 seconds. All right. This would take me on to the next level. All right. I'm going to show you the highest level. Now in this level, you'll notice the squash are going to pop up much quicker, and I'm going to have to push each one 3 times for it to actually pop. Okay. So much more difficult. So notice I also have to track and move around the screen to keep up with my squash. All right. So now it tells me I did 18 in 28 seconds. Okay. So that is Squish the Squash, working on that tapping motion, which is incredibly important, especially working on the iPad and needing to tap different icons and using the iPad in general. Trace and erase. So for trace and erase, we're basically going to trace lines or shapes, and then we're going to erase them. So level 1.
Drag the arrow to the star.
Again, remember you have the info section here that tells you what you can do. I won't read this one. So we're just going to trace. All right, once I hit the star, it pops up the next one. If I go outside of the line, it makes a noise, but it makes me go back to the star. I'm going to not talk for this one so you can hear the noise. All right. If I go out and stop, it's going to give me a green.
Draw a line from the green dot to the star.
So it's going to make me finish my lines. Okay. I'll finish out my other lines.
Drag the eraser to erase the line.
So now I practice those lines again.
You're great.
Now it does sort of a reward with a video camera. You can actually disable this if you want to. So it'll take a picture. So then I'm going to go back. Now if I go to the hardest level, now you can see the lines are not straight. They're much more complex. I have to go around. And once I get through one, I get that same shape just bigger and have to kind of keep going. Okay. So now I'm going to erase. If I go out here with the eraser, it makes me come back and makes me finish my line. Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. So that is your trace and erase. So that is again working on pointing and holding and then moving and making lines. Pinch the pepper. So pinch the pepper is going to work on that pincher grasp. So your index finger and your thumb. Again, your info screen is here to tell you what to do. And then we have
Using
level
your
1.
Thumb and index finger, pinch the pepper.
All right. So I pinched 3 in 5 seconds. All right. When we get to the higher one, there's going to be many more peppers, and watch the yellow ones. They actually give me 2 more. What happens if I just touch them? They don't do anything. I actually have to do the pinching motion in order to get them to do anything. All right, and again, it gives me my stats at the end, okay? So those are your 3 games, working on tapping, touch and hold, that pinching motion that we need to do. That pinching motion is going to be really helpful when we have to, we try to make things bigger or make things smaller on the iPad. That's really important. Just so you know, there's some options here. The options don't really offer too much for you. Tell a friend. You can clear your best times to restart those times. It's a little hard to see. You can provide feedback. This is where you can actually disable the camera. So, there's just a few features in there, not as many as some of the other apps. Here's the cool part, your report. So here you notice they have the trace and erase. It actually shows the different days that I've done this, and it shows me my times. It even shows when I have a new best time. Pinch the pepper, same thing. Squish the squash. So you can actually have a report here. Okay, we can email this report. Notice it's going to ask us to do some quick math, and then we can actually email the report. Okay. Delete the draft. I can clear these. I can also add separate users if I want to use this across different people. Okay. So that is your Dexteria Jr. The 4 grownups, again, it's going to make you do some math to get in, but this is just going to show you some other apps within the same suite. So that is your Dexteria Jr. Great, great, great app for some fine motor development, just some practice to get that fluency, that, high accuracy, at a high speed. That's going to be, give us fluency around these skills and make us better and make them, we don't have to think as much when we do these skills when we practice them up to fluency. So I hope you enjoy that app and pinching the pepper, squishing the squash, and tracing and erasing.